Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your ridiculous question reading. This reading is going to be all about ridiculous questions. The first one being, what is the fastest way you can get rich? These are just for fun, so don't take them too seriously, right? This is just YouTube, so chill out. But you have this motivate yourself to better your finances. They need rescuing. You also have this life coach, public speaking, activism, lobbying, or mentoring. You also have this comfort card. It says your income is steady and living comfortably. So you are in a good time for your finances. Jupiter just left your first house. And as I always say, Jupiter's a little bit interesting. Sometimes when it's in your second house, for example, like it was for you, Aries, sometimes what happens is that you don't get the rewards of that planet until after it leaves the sign that it was in. So I feel for some of you that maybe your finances were fine. It's like they were what they were, whatever that means, right? During Jupiter in your second. But now that it has left, I think that you can really take advantage of the energy there and you can greatly increase your finances. So, again, I think that would be a really good thing to think about here, Aries. I also do feel, by the way, this other card, it said life coaching, public speaking, activism, lobbying, or mentoring. So if you are thinking about doing any of those things, and I literally feel some of you people that I'm reading for are thinking about doing some of those things that are on that list there, I think that that would be a great way for you to greatly increase your finances. You have the Two of Swords. Definitely, it said something else. Where it said, no, it said, motivate yourself to better your finances. They need rescuing. Was it that one? Or I think that it said something else as well. Well, it says, keep raising the bar, get out of your comfort zone. That's what I was looking for. So I think that the Two of Swords is like this or that thinking. And she needs to get over to this island over here because that island represents like a third place or something different. But she would have to go through these choppy waters that are behind her. And the story of the Two of Swords is that she's afraid that she's going to get hurt by these rocks. But if she took off her blindfold, she would see that those rocks she could see them, and she would see that it's low tide, and she could easily walk over to that new island. So I feel like it is time for you to raise the bar. I do actually feel like some of you already have been doing things to raise the bar. It's like in work and business, maybe you've already been doing new things, and I would just keep doing what you're doing here. I would also say that with that other card, like if you get any opportunities to speak publicly or speak to like a group in a meeting or something like that, there's something about that popping into my head. It literally could lead to a raise or a promotion. The funny thing is, I'm going to skip forward to the sun card. It's like the sun card's about attention. So I think it would be an amazing time for Aries for attention. Aries loves attention, right? So I think it would be an amazing time for you to get attention, for you to stand out and all that other stuff. But there's like something here. It's almost like if you stand up and speak in a meeting and work or something and your boss is there, I almost like see your boss or something being like, this person's really smart or, this person really knows what they're talking about. So again, don't be afraid to speak up. I think it could be the thing that like gets you a raise or promotion or increases your worth. Again, also don't be afraid to like public speak or whatever else that said, public speaking, activism, lobbying, mentoring, life coach as well. So again, speaking up, sharing your voice, all those things would be really good with the sun. The sun also, if you do want to get fabulously wealthy, the sun is a great card for wealth, and it's a card of paying attention to your attention. So the sun shines a light on things that we need to pay attention to. And I feel like the universe is kind of like shining a light on things that you need to pay attention to here, Aries. It's also an amazing card for attention in general. So, again, if you work in the public eye, like that public speaking card says, or if you do something that requires attention, social media, public speaking, any of those things, anything like that, this would be really good. You have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is what kind of tells me that you've already been actively doing things to improve your finances, or you've already been actively trying to make a change in your finances. So I feel pretty good about this. I literally just feel that the Page of Wands says you've already started. And that's kind of the message I get there. So let's see. With the Two of Swords, you have the Four of Cups. Something can finally work is what this is saying to me. I actually really like this Four Cups. This is from the White Sage Tarot. That's what this deck is. And you can see those three cups pouring into one cup. It's like you're finally mixing everything together. I frequently say that the Four of Cups, it's like he's got those three cups in front of him. There's another one reaching out of the clouds. And you could argue that he's like trying to manifest a cake. And, the story of the Four of Cups is that he has the flour, the sugar, the eggs, but he just needs to mix it all together. So I love this Four of Cups because they're mixing all together. And so I feel like it's like you're discovering your secret sauce here, Aries. With the Page of Wands, you have the Ten of Swords. I do feel like there's like a tiny little thing that you have to release here. I kind of felt this at the beginning of the reading. We go to the Seven of Wands here. And I kind of feel like this Seven of Wands could be talking about something that you haven't quite released yet or haven't quite put out into the world yet. The other thing is that you have this Earthworm card, which we're going to talk about next. And it's about releasing something in the sense that you're putting something out. The Earthworm is a withdrawn energy. It's about like holding things in or holding things back and not telling the world or the people in your life how you really feel, right? And not opening up or not sharing your ideas. And so I feel like it would be a good time to release that. It's not so much like release as in letting go of a person or something. I feel like that Ten of Swords is talking about releasing something as in like letting something out. With the Sun card, you have the Hierophant again. So you have the Hierophant twice. I kind of feel this is talking about the blessings of Jupiter. The Hierophant is Taurus, and you just had Jupiter in Taurus. And you have the Hierophant twice, and the Hierophant also represents blessings. So I do feel that there could be certain blessings that you're receiving. And these blessings could be coming in based off like the work that you do in your life or the things that you work on just in general, right? So that's kind of what I get there. Next, in the area of what are the animals trying to tell you, you have this Stingray card and this Earthworm card. Again, funny enough, the Stingray in this deck is about developing a backbone, and the Earthworm doesn't have a backbone. So you could be developing some sort of backbone or learning how to like stand up for yourself. But I think this is more, the word that I got on the Earthworm was release, but it was more saying not as in, it's not releasing as in like letting something go. I think it's releasing as in letting something out or releasing something to the world. You literally could be like launching a product or putting your book out or putting YouTube videos out or something. It's like that is the type of release that I'm talking about with the Earthworm. So I feel like you need to like have the confidence to share. Maybe that's a better way to put it, right? And I feel like your animal guides here are telling you that it's time to kind of put something out. The Stingray kind of represents the development of something. So it basically says that something is ready to be shared, and that's what I feel off of those two cards. You have this Bee Spirit. It says sweet results await. So if you're worried about the results that you're going to receive from putting something out into the world, I feel like you are going to get very favorable results. As I've been saying to you for a couple weeks now, it's an amazing time for you, Aries, and you in particular, to work together with other people. You have the Three of Cups at the end. So I'm a big fan of Aries collaborating. Look at my YouTube channel. Why do you think I've been collaborating so much, right? I am a second house Aries. I have Jupiter and Venus in Aries, and so like every time and anything I have to do, anything I do, I pay attention for work. I pay attention to Aries energy, even though I'm a Pisces, right? So for work and for things that I value, I really pay attention to what happens in like the Aries readings. And again, so if you look, I currently collaborate with two people, well, one person in a group, right? And also behind the scenes, I've been collaborating with people on, on a deeper level. So I think that there's a huge benefit. And I'm not even an Aries, like I said. So, it's like, I think that even if you just have Aries in your chart, if you're like an Aries rising or something, you will benefit from this energy. So I would do whatever you can to work with other people. And you also end with the Three of Cups as well. You have this Nightingale spirit, says love is all around. So really good for love. I do feel like some of you could be thinking about love. It just seems like a thought to me in this reading, not so much like a major focus. The Nightingale is also about being able to accomplish more than you think. There's another deck I use, this one right here, the Wild Unknown Animal Oracle. And the Nightingale in that other animal deck kind of represents being bold, being fearless, and it also represents being able to accomplish much more than you think. The Nightingale in this deck here is normally sitting on this gigantic egg, and it's like a tiny little bird. So it kind of says that you have the ability to accomplish much more than you could possibly imagine, but you have to be fearless and bold to go and do it. So I think it would be a great time for you to embrace that kind of like fearless energy. And also you have the Page of Wands right next to it, the card of being fearless. You have this Horse spirit. It says freedom is yours. Number one, I would say that it's probably Jupiter moving into Gemini. Number two, I would say at the end of like 2025, when Uranus leaves your second, that will be really good for you as well, Aries, because Uranus in the second can be a little bit tricky. It's not so bad in Taurus, but it's still a tricky energy. It can make your finances unpredictable, or you can have experiences where you make a bunch of money and then you have to like pay taxes, and so all that money you just made disappears or something like that. So you could be experiencing like a lot of that energy, right? With the bee spirit, you have the Nine of Swords. I think collaboration could break you free or break you out of a negative cycle, or it doesn't even have to be a negative cycle. This is kind of popping into my head as a plateau where it's like you've reached a certain level and you're trying to break through to the next level. And I feel like collaboration could be one of those things that breaks you free from that, like a plateau in your life. With the Nightingale spirit, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is about being curious, and I would pay attention to those big dreams that you're having right now, especially, again, having like Neptune and Saturn in your 12th right now. Aries could definitely be one of those things that gives you these big, wild dreams. And Saturn says, and especially in Pisces, and Saturn says, if you put the work in, you will accomplish your wildest dreams. So I think it's definitely time for you to kind of try to accomplish something that's like hard or out of reach. With the Horse spirit, you have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, feeling stuck and tied down. Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction. And so I feel like your spirit guides, your animal guides here are trying to tell you to look at those places where you feel stuck, but you probably aren't. And maybe you just need to look for another way of doing things. But also look at those places where maybe other people could help set you free, or other people could, provide a different perspective that would set you free, right? Next, we're going to look at what unusual skill should you learn right now. And you have forgiveness, and you also have enlightenment here, Aries. So I think that forgiveness is definitely a skill to learn, right? Because sometimes someone does something so bad that it's really hard to forgive. And I think a lot of you could be learning forgiveness. I feel like the enlightenment card is talking about the fact that like life is a journey, it's not a sprint. And so we have to learn things as we go. And you might as well learn the good stuff. You might as well learn how to do this right here, which is double down on your strengths. As far as a skill or an unusual skill is concerned, the Five of Pentacles would represent, doubling down on the good stuff. I always say these people are calling attention to your weaknesses, their weaknesses. And so the solution to the Five of Cups, or Five of Pentacles, sorry, I can't talk today, is to focus on the stuff that you're already good at, or focus on things that you can be successful at. It's about focusing on your strengths. So I feel like that is just the skill that you could learn there. You also have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the bridge between the heavens and the earth. So I feel that learning how to communicate like what you're getting up here, your dream world, and communicating that down on the real world, into the real world, is something that could be a skill that you're developing. That's really what I get here. It's almost like saying you have these wacky ideas, these out, way out there kind of dreams right now. And literally these could be literal dreams that you're having while you sleep. And the Hierophant is saying like, okay, how can you translate that into the real world? How can you make that something that happens here on Earth? And so being able to communicate that with yourself, but maybe also other people, could be an important skill to learn. Also, like making sense of that could be something that you're having to learn with the Hierophant, like making sense of your intuition, or making sense of the signs and symbols and synchronicities that are happening throughout the day. Kind of translating it into the real world could be the thing that you're learning here. Like what I mean by that is it's like maybe you think about something and you see 1010 on the clock. It's like, what does that repeating number mean? Is it the universe trying to tell you something? Is it telling you you're on the right path, or, what's going on? That's just one example. I think there's a million. And I feel like this is about needing to learn how to kind of like put those pieces of the puzzle together. You have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is about seeing things very clearly for the first time. And again, there's something here about clear communication. It's like mentally, I think you have the vision of, right? But I feel like verbally, with your mouth hole here, Aries, it's about kind of like putting something into words, or putting something, make something make sense, and I think that's what is going on here. It's like you have some sort of big dream or a crazy dream for your life, and it's like, how does that translate into the real world? And so, that is definitely a skill that you could be learning here. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Five of Cups. How crazy is it that I said the Five of Cups on the Five of Pentacles? It's almost like this card was meant to come out. So, Five of Cups is about regrets. I think that some of those, your past regrets, could be what's holding you back. Like if you tried to, if you had a dream to start a business in the past and it didn't work out, what could be happening here is that you are thinking about the things that didn't work instead of focusing on the things that could work now. And so I think changing your focus, or learning how to move your focus more in the direction that you want it to go, would be a good idea. I also think that this right here is probably a good idea, like collaboration. Like my brother is my manager, but he handles all my projects, right? It's like I have an idea, but it's like I'm super bad at getting people to do my idea, right? So, like for example, he is the one who handles like all my outsourcers, all the people who do web development and things like that for me, for other projects. He's the one that tells him what to do. Like I tell him what I want, right, and he puts it into words, because it's like I have the idea, but I never can tell a person like how to do it, right? And so that's where the collaboration comes in. So it's like maybe you need to, lean on a person here, or get a person who can take your words and make it make sense. With the Hierophant here, you have the Two of Swords and the Lovers. I do feel like some of you are learning something about love. This is not a skill. This is almost like a side message that I'm getting out of your reading here, Aries. I feel like you are learning something about love. Like maybe you're learning that love is different than what you thought it is. Or maybe you're learning that, like love isn't always going to be a fairy tale. And it's kind of like a weird message I'm getting. It's almost like, I'm just going to say it, no matter how weird this sounds. It's almost like you are learning that, no one's perfect, right? And love won't always be a fairy tale, but it's almost like setting you free in a certain way, because it's like maybe you're not putting so much pressure on the people that you date in the future. Or, and by doing that, you're like not putting pressure on a person to be this like perfect angel in your life. And because of that, it's almost like they are becoming a perfect angel. But it's because you have released something. I don't know, weird message, but it popped into my head. So it's like you're learning like it's like you're learning to let people off the hook more. Or maybe you're learning that, that no one will ever be perfect, but because of that, you're creating something perfect. I don't know, weird. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire. Again, I think you see everything you want and that you desire to get in your life. I think what needs to happen is that you need to make it real. You need to make it something that is something that could actually happen in the real world, right? And so you need to take the crazy dream and make it a little bit more realistic here on Earth. And I think doing that, you could literally ground your Ten of Pentacles in this reality, which would be amazing. Next, in the area of what breakthrough are you closest to but farthest away from? We all have things that are right in front of our face and we never see them. So this is basically what breakthrough is like right in front of you that you're not paying attention to. This says you are very close to achieving your goals. You also have this card that says prosperity lies ahead. So clearly there's a lot of prosperity and good things coming in for you with this energy. I kind of feel that you are very close to accomplishing a goal, but it just needs like a little bit more gas. It's like you've started the fire, and now it just needs a little bit more gasoline. I think it needs like a person who can help you, or maybe you just need, you don't have to necessarily work with a person. This could just represent learning from a person, or it could represent kind of like this right here, which would be like having an accountability partner, or having a person who you can lean on in those moments when you need like help or assistance or whatever. So I think collaboration is kind of the name of the game for you. The Three of Cups is also a celebration. I do feel like this is saying like you need to get into that celebratory energy, because then it's almost like, I definitely believe that we shouldn't celebrate too soon, but I also feel this is like saying you need to start acting as if you're going to be celebrating the success of something, and that could be very helpful. You have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. And so this could represent kind of like upgrading or evolving something, growing something that you do right now. I'm pretty sure that you get the Ace of Wands almost in every single reading that I do for you, Aries. So I think that, I really feel that the Ace of Wands is talking about evolution for you, Aries. It's like saying that, Aries specifically, I think, could be taking their career to a new level. And I say this to you all the time, or your business, you could be taking it to the next level by kind of like doing something bigger and better, or, evolving it in some way. And that's what I would do there. You have the Seven of Wands. I feel like the Seven of Wands is about protecting your breakthrough. It's like you're about to have a breakthrough, but I think you need to also protect your work. And I feel that you've had a lot of lessons over the past like 4 or 5 years involving other people, like people you can't trust and people you can trust. And I feel like the Seven of Wands is saying that you've learned the difference, and now it's time to trust yourself, right? Because it's like if people do you dirty a bunch of times, like not just in love, I'm talking about like in work and business and all that other stuff, it can be very hard to want to collaborate with a person again. And I feel this is saying, well, yeah, that's true, but you have learned something. So it's like, what didn't you see when you trusted that person in work or in business to do something? And now I feel you need to like bring that knowledge to new connections. With the Three of Cups, you have the Hermit. I actually feel like you're kind of leaving hermit mode. This could be a change that's happening for you where you're being more social. It does look like a more social time in your astrology. So it wouldn't surprise me if you started like socializing more, just having more fun. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Knight of Swords here. The Knight of Swords is about like charging towards something. The Knight of Swords says don't rush, but I also feel that the Knight of Swords actually says you're building a lot of momentum. And you fire signs keep getting these messages about like momentum or building more momentum. And I do think that would be a good idea for you is to like build up speed or momentum. With the Seven of Wands, you have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is about trusting your intuition. It is a very intuitive time for you, Aries. So again, I would be also trusting your intuition with that Seven of Wands. I also remember what I said about the Hierophant. It's almost like I was just getting a message about messages on the Hierophant. It's like the Hierophant is saying, you are receiving messages, but now you need to take those messages and look at how they apply to the real world. And I feel like that's what that's saying. This could also be a divine connection, by the way. I mean, Hierophant and High Priestess is better than the Emperor and the Empress. You know, it's like a divine connection, something that's spiritually led, and something that's a little bit better. So really good for love. But this looks pretty good here, Aries. Definitely let me know what you think about this type of reading. And if you have any ridiculous questions you want me to answer in a future ridiculous question reading, put those down below. But this looks really good. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your month.